have been collecting the wildflowers in this neighborhood. And what I noticed ever since I came here in Texas, I really felt that wow, those flowers, wildflowers, very common here. I have never seen before. So United States, as a country, is a big country, but Texas is also, I think, the very huge area there. And so, as you notice, that east and west and the north and south is a little bit different atmosphere there. And so that's why you get a tremendous range of plants, fauna, birds, and animals, I would say. Insects also. A lot of things that I never seen, like a lizard, a horned lizard. You see when you're walking around the neighborhood, empty lot area, huge area, but you see this horned lizard walking around. And so, wow, that's very interesting. And I would see lots of insects also that I never seen before, like a harlequin bug. I never seen that before, and so I see that now. And yeah, so it's interesting to find those things nearby. And so for a long time, I have this particular wildflowers I couldn't identify. As you know, I have this wildflowers of Texas, and there's a yellow flower section, lots of yellow flowers listed here, and I'm kind of skimming through all those pictures and trying to identify these particular flowers, and finally I identified it. It is Engelmann's Daisy. Another name is cutleaf daisy, and Engelmannia peristenia. And this is like a perennial, and it has like an 8 petal, and relatively probably 1 foot to 1.5 feet tall, and the flower is like this big and relatively huge and conspicuous. And finally, I found that because of the leaf shapes and the cut leaf shapes, which is very distinct. So I found that this particular flowers is a perennial, and some people has in the garden. So wow, I should get that. So a couple of days ago, I went down there with a shovel, and I took some of the plants and planted in my front yard. And so I hope that's going to take off. And the other thing is a Texas blue. Which is also very nice yellow flowers, and but the leaves are bluish and very distinct again, and so I like that. And then I saw the gumweed, curly cup gumweed, which is also very distinct. I never seen it before, and I only see it in this area very commonly. And it's a beautiful stem, beautiful leaves, very thick, kind of a serrated leaves, and tall, like a 1, 2, maybe up to like a 3 or 4 feet height. And yeah, that's interesting. So anyway, that's a biennial, so it's not worth it to plant in your garden. But definitely those Engelmann Daisy and Texas blueweed are perennial, and so it may be worthwhile. So I took them and planted. Hopefully it's gonna root, but you never know. And then I will try the seeds if it's not successful. But anyway, so those things very I know finding them in this area uniquely is very satisfying. I think that particular excitement and wonder is the tremendous variable. I think in all my life, why I became wildflowers lovers is because you never seen it before, and so when you're walking or hiking, you see them along the roadside. You started to notice, and also you feel like a wow, like a tremendously conspicuous because the flowers are conspicuous, as a nature, and colors are, vibrant colors, yellow, white, red, purple, pink, and all these blue, all these colors are very distinct from the surrounding, and so you started to notice them because of that. But more than that, I think wildflowers give me some kind of I don't know, like I would say the joy of life. I think that's what it is, joy of living. And you see that. You're happy. You are pleased to see that in front of you, and there's such a beauty, and so wow, you're glad that you're living at this particular time at this locale, and you feel like you're part of your nature or part of the earth rings, and so that particular thing is very precious. But most of all, I think it's the beauty itself. It's something that I was taken very early on, and when I was in Japan, already I was a wildflower aficionado, and taking lots of pictures of wildflowers, and so you think that hobby of wildflowers is probably kind of a sissy hobby or something, but it is very engaging, very satisfying hobby. Other hobbies including my bird watching also, that's also interesting, and also the insect identification, tree identification is very interesting as well. Just because you haven't never seen it or you never identified it before, until you identify them, you are trapped in the particular pursuit of achieving identification. And that particular thing is adventure. And like you go deep in the wood hunting some animal, and it's the same kind of a feeling, a very, very engaging. I went to focus, and adrenaline rushing hobbies there, and that's what I like. And so once you seen those, the effect of seeing again is much less, I would say, until it's not seeing but identifying again is much less. Like birds identification, bird watching is become less and less for me as an activities. But I still felt coming here in Texas, I noticed big tail, great-tailed grackle, and white-winged dove, and also mockingbird, and also the flycatcher. I saw the other day the flycatcher, beautiful scissor tail flycatcher. It's like a bifocal, I think I would say, tail, a long tail coming in. And when you see them, it's like a wow, that's almost like a very strange, very way of flying, and you really notice. Those things you can see only in Texas, and since I came here, I identify them. So yeah, if you already identified, of course you're not interested that much, but still, yeah, it's very, very exciting to see, because you don't see that often, you don't see all the time, you don't see close by, you don't observe like a face of the birds, for example. This white-winged dove has a very, very bluish eye ring, which is striking to see when you see close by. Blue stands out. So nature observing hobby is, I think, I would say, wonderful, and especially when you I don't know, the physical mobility decreases as you ages, and you feel like more and more you want to go outside, you want to travel around. But for some reason, when you get older, that chances are getting less and less. So, but you still can go outside walking, and you can observe nearby there in your yard, for example. You see insects and plants, weeds growing. You see them, and that's kind of finding out the name of it and habitat, and like how they grow and how they flower, and that's finding out those things. It's like a very, I think mindful observation. And I have this mindful shirts. This is something like noticing over here. But anyway, I really recommend that the people take up on that kind of a hobby. Tree, for example, you see trees because most of the trees they're just green and big and tall. But if you get closer, and if you understand, they live like 1,000 years, for example, and so you have a respect of the trees, and finding out them growing on the locale, you have a tremendous admiration of the particular tree, living there and for such a long time in the one spot. And so that particular hobby, tree identification. It's something is a little bit more difficult because of the, each varieties, each individual species are very similar to each other just because, leaf shapes and trunk shapes and so forth is very similar. But if you come to identify, it's very, very satisfying. And so I think my probably, toward the, from now on, I think I would I like to travel a little bit more, different area and trying to identify those trees, plants, birds, insects, animals, all these things.